I draw this inspiration. You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot help the poor by discouraging the rich. You cannot help the wage earner by pulling down the wage payer. You cannot further brotherhood by inciting class hatred among men.
This is a historic moment for us all. I feel it deep within me. You, the people, have spoken, and it is resounding. When my call for unity started to resonate with you, it did so because it echoed your yearnings, mirrored your sentiments, and expressed your hopes for family, for country, and for a better future. That is why it reverberated and amplified as it did to deliver the biggest electoral mandate in the history of Philippine democracy.
Ang pagtayo ko dito ngayon ay patunay na kayo ang aking tunay na lakas. Hindi ko inakala na darating tayo sa puntong ito na ako'y manunumpa sa harap ninyo bilang inyong Pangulo. Hindi ko pinangarap maging tagapagtaguyod ng pag-asa at tagapagmana ng mga suliranin ng ating bayan. Ang layunin ko sa buhay ay simple lang. Maging tapat sa aking mga magulang at sa bayan bilang isang marangal na anak, mabait na kuya, at mabuting mamamayan.
By your vote, you rejected the politics of division. I offended none of my rivals in this campaign. I listened instead to what they were saying. And I saw little incompatibility with my own ideas about jobs, fair wages, personal safety, and national strength, and ending want in a land of plenty. I believe that if we but focus on the work at hand and the work that will come to hand, we will go very far under my watch. You believe that too. At pinakinggan ko ang tinig ninyo na ang sinisigaw ay pagkakaisa, pagkakaisa, pagkakaisa. We will go farther together than against each other, pushing forward, not pulling each other back, out of fear, out of a misplaced sense of weakness. But we are the furthest from weak. The Filipino diaspora flourishes even in the most inhospitable climes, where they are valued for their quality. The changes we seek will benefit all and will shortchange no one. I was not the instrument of change. You were that. You made it happen. I am now. You picked me to be your servant, to enable changes to benefit all. I fully understand the gravity of the responsibility that you've put on my shoulders. I do not take it lightly, but I am ready for the task. I will need your help. I want to rely on it. But rest assured, I do not predicate success on the wide cooperation that's needed. I will get it done. I once knew a man who saw what little had been achieved since independence in a land of people with the greatest potential for achievement. And yet, they were poor. But he got it done. Sometimes with the needed support, sometimes without. So will it be with his son. You will get no excuses from me.
My economic and financial political policies are contained in those quotations, though couched in general terms. Read between the lines. I need not go to specifics now. They shall be supplied to you in due time. However, there are certain policies and specifics of which cannot help wait for tomorrow to be announced. Therefore, I direct all department secretaries and the heads of agencies to reduce requirements and the processing time of all applications from the submission to release. I order all department secretaries and heads of agencies to remove redundant requirements, and compliance with one department or agency shall be accepted as sufficient for all. I order all department secretaries and heads of agencies to refrain from changing and bending the rules of government contracts, transactions, and projects already approved and awaiting implementation. Changing the rules when the game is ongoing is wrong. I abhor secrecy and instead advocate transparency in all government contracts, projects, and business transactions, from submission of proposals to negotiation to perfection and finally to consummation. Do them and we will work together. Do not do them, we will part sooner than later. On the international front and community of nations, let me reiterate that the Republic of the Philippines will honor treaties and international obligations. On the domestic front, my administration is committed to implement all signed peace agreements in step with constitutional and legal reforms. I am elated by the expression of unity among our Moro brothers and leaders and the response of everyone else to my call for peace. I look forward to the participation of all other stakeholders, particularly our indigenous peoples, to ensure inclusivity in the peace process. Let me remind, in the end of this talk, that I was elected to the presidency to serve the entire country. I was not elected to serve the interest of any person or any group or any one class. I serve everyone and not only one. And that is why I have adopted as an article of faith the following lines written by someone whose name I could no longer recall. He said, I have no friends to serve. I have no enemies to harm. Presenting, therefore, I now ask everyone, and I mean everyone, to join me as we embark on this crusade for a better and brighter tomorrow.
Nilabanan ng aking ama ang diktadurya at ibinuwis niya ang kanyang buhay para tubusin ang ating demokrasya. Inalay ng aking ina ang kanyang buhay upang pangalagaan ang demokrasyang ito. Ilalaang ko ang aking buhay para siguraduhin na ang ating demokrasya ay kapaki-pakinabang sa bawat isa. Namuhunan na po kami ng dugo at handang gawin ito muli kung kakailanganin. Tanyag man ang aking mga magulang at ang kanilang mga nagawa, alam ko rin ang problema ng ordinaryong mamamayan. Alam nating lahat ang pakiramdam na magkaroon ng pamahalaang bulag at bingi. Alam natin ang pakiramdam na mapagkaitan ng hustisya, na mabaliwala ng mga taong pinagkatiwalaan at inatasan nating maging ating tagapagtanggol. Katulad ninyo ako, marami na sa atin ang bumoto gamit ang kanilang paa. Nilisan na nila ang ating bansa sa kanilang paghahanap ng pagbabago at katahimikan. Tinis nila ang hirap, sinugod ang panganib sa ibang bansa dahil doon may pag-asa kahit kaunti na dito sa atin ay hindi nila nakikita. Sa ilang sandali na sarili ko lang ang aking inaalala, pati ako ay napag-isip din. Talaga bang hindi na magbabago ang pamamahala natin dito? Hindi kaya nasa ibang bansa ang katahimikang hinahanap ko? Saan ba nakasulat na kailangan puro pagtitiis ang tadhana ng Pilipino? Ngayon, sa araw na ito, dito magwawakas ang pumumunong manhid sa mga daing ng taong bayan. Hindi si Noynoy ang gumawa ng paraan. Kayo ang dahilan kung bakit ngayon magtatapos na ang pagtitiis ng sambayanan. Ito naman po ang umpisa ng kalbaryo ko. Ngunit kung marami tayong magpapasa ng krus, ay kakayanin natin ito, gaano mang kabigat. Sa tulong ng wastong pamamahala sa mga darating na taon, may ibsan din ang marami nating problema. Ang tadhana ng Pilipino ay babalik sa tamang kalagyan na sa bawat taon, pabawas ng pabawas ang problema ng Pinoy. Nagsusumikap at may kasiguruhan sila na magiging tuloy-tuloy na ang pagbuti ng kanilang sitwasyon.
My father built more and better roads, produced more rice than all administrations before his. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte built more and better than all the administrations succeeding my father's. Much has been built, and so well, that the economic dogma of dispersing industry to develop the least likely places has been upturned. Development was brought to them. Investors are now setting up industries along the promising routes built. And yet, the potential of this country is not exhausted. Following these giant steps, we will continue to build. I will complete on schedule the projects that have been started. I'm not interested in taking credit. I want to build on success that's already happening. We will be presenting the public with a comprehensive infrastructure plan. 6 years could be just about enough time. No part of our country will be neglected. Progress will be made wherever there are Filipinos, so no investment is wasted. The recovery of Philippine tourism with its emphasis on accessing nature's beauty, I am sure will exceed expectations. And bigger is not always better, but there's something to be said for economies of scale. And yet the country invites investments in fast-rising industries with quick returns and inflicts irreparable damage for future generations. We have yet to see large-scale practical solutions to pollution, though some are beginning to emerge. But there are tried and proven new ways of mitigation. Blades have been turning over the sand dunes of Ilocos Norte, harnessing a power all around, but unseen, long before this day. I built them. The rich world talks a great deal but does a lot less about it than those with much less, but who suffer more death and destruction from climate change and lack of adaptation. We will look to our partners and friends to help the Philippines, who, despite having a very small carbon footprint, is at the highest risk. First, spare victims, then help them recover, and move on to lessen the harmful impact of climate change. We too have our part to play. We are the third biggest plastics polluter in the world. But we won't shirk from that responsibility. We will clean up. You will not be disappointed, so do not be afraid. With every difficult decision that I must make, I will keep foremost in my heart and in my mind the debt of gratitude I owe you for the honor and responsibility that you have conferred on me. Whatever is in a person to make changes for the better of others, I lay before you now in my commitment. I will try to spare you. You have your other responsibilities to carry. But I will not spare myself from shedding the last bead of sweat or giving the last ounce of courage and sacrifice. And if you ask me why I am so confident of the future, I will answer you simply that I have 110 million reasons to start with. Such is my faith in the Filipino. Believe, have hope. The sun also rises like it did today and as it will tomorrow. And as surely as that, we will achieve the country all Filipinos deserve. God bless the Philippines. God bless our work. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Magandang tanghali po.
No leader, however strong, can succeed at anything of national importance or significance unless he has the support and cooperation of the people he is tasked to lead and sworn to serve. It is the people from whom democratic governments draw strength, and this administration is no exception. That is why we have to listen to the murmurings of the people, feel their pulse, supply their needs, and fortify their faith and trust in us whom they elected to public office. There are many amongst us who advance the assessment that the problems that bedevil our country today, which need to be addressed with urgency, are corruption, both in the high and low echelons of government, criminality in the streets, and the rampant sale of illegal drugs in all strata of Philippine society, and the breakdown of law and order, true but not absolutely so. For I say these ills are mere symptoms of a virulent social disease that creeps and cuts into the moral fiber of Philippine society. I sense a problem deeper and more serious than any of those mentioned or all of them put together. But of course, it is not to say that we will ignore them, because they have to be stopped by all means that the law allows. Erosion of faith and trust in government, that is the real problem that confronts us Resulting therefrom, I see the erosion of the people's trust in our country's leaders, the erosion of faith in our judicial system, the erosion of confidence in the capacity of our public servants to make the people's lives better, safer, and healthier. Indeed, ours is a problem that dampens the human spirit, but all is not lost. I know that there are those who do not approve of my methods of fighting criminality, the sale and use of illegal drugs and corruption. They say that my methods are unorthodox and verge on the illegal. In response, let me say this. I have seen how corruption bled the government of funds which were allocated for the use in uplifting the poor from the mire that they are in. I have seen how illegal drugs destroy individuals and ruin family relationships. I have seen how criminality, by means all foul, snatched from the innocent and the unsuspecting the years and years of accumulated savings, years of toil, and then suddenly they are back to where they started. Look at this from that perspective and tell me that I am wrong. In this fight, I ask Congress and the Commission of Human Rights and all others who are similarly situated to allow us a level of governance that is consistent to our mandate. The fight will be relentless and it will be sustained. As a lawyer and a former prosecutor, I know the limits of the power and authority of the President. I know what is legal and what is not. My adherence to due process and the rule of law is uncompromising. You mind your work, and I will mind mine. Malasakit, tunay na pagbabago, tinud-anay ang kausaban. These are the words which catapulted me to the presidency. The slogans were conceptualized not for the sole purpose of securing the votes of the electorate. Tinud-anay ang kabaguhan, mao kani ang tumong sa atong gobyerno.
We shall defeat the enemy by wielding the tools of justice, social reform, and equitable governance, leading to a better life. Sa tamang pamamahala, gaganda ang buhay ng lahat. At sa buhay na maganda, sino pa ang gugustuhin bumalik sa panahon ng pang-aapi? Kung kasama ko kayo, may tataguyod natin ang isang bayan kung saan pantay-pantay ang pagkakataon. Dahil pantay-pantay nating ginagampanan ang ating mga pananagutan. Kamakailan lamang, ang bawat isa sa atin ay nanindigan sa presinto. Bumoto tayo ayon sa ating karapatan at konsensya. Hindi tayo umatras sa tungkulin nating ipaglaban ang karapatang ito. Pagkatapos ng bilangan, pinatunayan ninyo na ang tao ang tunay na lakas ng bayan. Ito ang kahalagahan ng ating demokrasya. Ito ang pundasyon ng ating pagkakaisa. Nangampanya tayo para sa pagbabago. Dahil dito, taas na muli ang Pilipino. Tayong lahat ay kabilang sa isang bansa kung saan maaari ng mangarap muli. to our friends and neighbors around the world. We are ready to take our place as a reliable member of the community of nations. A nation serious about its commitments and which harmonizes its national interests with its international responsibilities. We will be a predictable and consistent place for investment. A nation where everyone will say it all works. Inaanyayahan ko kayo ngayon na manumpa sa ating mga sarili. Sa sambayanan, walang maiiwan. Walang pag-iibang bayan at gastusan na walang wastong dahilan. Walang pagtalikod sa mga salitang binitawan noong kampanya ngayon at hanggang sa mga susunod. Panahon na upang tayo ay muling magkawang gawa. Nandito tayo ngayon dahil sama-sama tayong nanindigan at nagtiwala na may pag-asa. The people who are behind us dared to dream. Today, the dream starts to become a reality. Sa inyong mga nag-isip pa kung tutulong kayo sa pagpasan ng ating krus, isa lang ang aking tanong. Kung kailan tayo nanalo, saka pa ba kayo susuko? Kayo ang nagdala sa akin sa puntong ito, ang ating mga volunteers, matanda, bata, celebrity, ordinaryong tao na umikot sa Pilipinas para ikampanya ang pagbabago. Ang aking mga kasambahay na nag-asikaso ng lahat ng aking mga personal na mga pangangailangan. Ang aking pamilya, kaibigan at katrabaho na dumamay, nag-alaga at nagbigay ng suporta sa akin. Ang ating mga abogado na nagpuyat para bantayan ang ating mga boto at siguraduhin mabibilang ang bawat isa. Ang aking mga kapartido at kaalyado na kasama kong nangahas mangarap. At ang milyong-milyong Pilipinong nagkaisa, nagtiwala at hindi nawalan ng pag-asa. Nasa inyo ang taus-pusong pasasalamat. Hindi ko makakayang harapin ang aking mga magulang at kayong mga nagdala sa akin sa ito ng buhay kong ito kung hindi ko may sasakatuparan ang aking mga binitawang salita sa araw na ito. My parents sought nothing less and died for nothing less than democracy, peace, and prosperity. I am blessed by this legacy. I shall carry the torch forward. Layunin ko na sa pagbaba ko sa katungkulan, masasabi ng lahat na malayo na ang narating natin sa pagtahak ng tuwid na landas. At mas maganda na ang kinabukasang ipapamana natin sa susunod na henerasyon. Samahan ninyo ako sa pagtatapos ng labang ito. Tayo na sa tuwid na landas. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay ang sambayanang Pilipino. Buhay po!